Hello, my name is Kevin Hollifield, and in this accounting data generation module, I will be discussing the topic of accrual basis accounting. This accounting method is one that records revenues when earned and when expenses are incurred. Keep in mind that this is different from cash basis accounting, which is the accounting method that records revenues only when cash is received and expenses only when cash is paid. Typically, this is what most businesses use as it covers a better picture of the business's revenues and expenses. When applying this concept, it is important to remember that it is irrelevant when cash is received or paid because this basis of accounting records revenue only when it has been earned and expenses only when they have been paid. This type of accounting can be applied across multiple business levels. As an entry-level professional, it's important to understand this concept because it will have a dramatic impact on your future, and it is important to understand all accounting concepts at a basic level. It becomes more important when you're a mid-level professional, when you're actually applying it in your day-to-day job. More than likely, you will be managing multiple vendor relationships. Most of the time, these companies or your own will have different ways of accounting. So it's critical for you at this point to understand how to communicate with your own accounts payable department in order to create an effective relationship with the third-party vendor and their accounting team. Continuing on as an executive level professional, at this higher level, you will look at the different types of accounting methods you use and how they will affect your overall budget. In some cases, there's a benefit to using this type of accounting because the expenses will not hit your bottom line until a later date, depending on how you're utilizing them. But in some cases, you won't want those expenses to roll over into a new budget. It's all going to depend on the situation. In some cases, you may want to ensure that a expense is paid before the new calendar year in order to go into the new calendar year without having that burden. Ethically, this is a pretty clean way of handling expenses. It's important that you choose a distinct way of handling revenues and expenses rather than switching back and forth from accrual and cash-based accounting. A company may do this because they wish to change when they report revenues and expenses to report better numbers at the end of the year. And this goes back to my earlier point of covering an expense that will be used in the following year's time frame. However, you have it covered in the previous year's budget. Sometimes this serves as an advantage. Sometimes you will want to make an adjustment in an ethical way given on your particular circumstance. And given all we've learned here today, that should make sense. I hope you have found this as informative. I used the provided text for the finance class that's been provided for the term definitions. Again, this has been on accrual basis accounting. My name is Kevin Hollifield, and thank you for listening.